Hey, Alfred, been here long? Henry dragged up a box under his arm. Had to go downtown, pick something up for Bud. Who's Bud? Bud Martin, Mr. Donatelli's assistant, said Henry, pointing at the thin man. See you later. Hey, Henry. Yeah? Henry turned impatiently. Alfred tried to think of something to say, anything to keep Henry from leaving. His eyes fell on the sign. Do I have to pay my $2 now? No. Well, when you can spare it easy. If you can't pay, Mr. Donatelli won't throw you out. Henry, called Bud Martin. Right there. Alfred did a few more sit-ups, but the sweat running under his street clothes began to itch. Some of the boxers were weighing themselves and joking and drifting off into the shower room behind the rusty lockers. The gym was quieting down. The peanut bag was silent. Dr. Corey passed him on his way out, but didn't look down. Henry was over in a corner, helping Bud Martin pack a black satchel. Alfred was alone again. He felt another urge to leave, but he forced himself to stroll over toward Henry and Bud, his hands in his pockets, casual, so no one could tell he felt out of place. Up close, Alfred could see Bud Martin's ribs pushing through his tattered T-shirt, but the bony hands were sure and quick as the old man stuffed small jars and rolls of tape into the valise. Hey, Bud, shouted Red, shouldering past Alfred. Bud didn't look up. Need some more cotton tips, Henry. Sure. Henry disappeared into the dressing room. I'm talking to you, Bud, said Red. Talk, snapped Bud. I need my hands taped. You learn to do it yourself. Willie Streeter don't have to do it himself. Bud looked up, his black eyes hard in the skull face. Muscles all over his face twitched underneath the drum-tight skin when he talked. But Willie knows how, and there's the difference right there. Red mumbled something and walked away, again brushing Alfred. Some people, said Bud, think this is a nursery school. Henry, I got the cotton tips, said Henry, putting a cellophane package in Bud's hand. Better bring another jar of Vaseline. All right. Always use a lot of Vaseline on Willie's face, said Bud, talking mostly into the black satchel. He's got dry skin that cuts so easy. Sometimes even the grease don't help. What happens if he gets cut? Asked Alfred. Bud reached into the satchel and pulled out a small jar of yellowish paste. Stops the bleeding, keeps the cut clean. What is it? Clarence Martin's magical potion, patent pending. What's in it? Bud winked. I got doctors call me from California, ask what's in it. Do you tell them? You crazy boy. Only Donatelli and me knows what's in it, and even he don't know exactly how much of each special ingredient I use. Oh, like a trade secret. Exactly. Bud grinned, showing pink toothless gums. I invented it 41 years ago. I had this lightweight, skin so thin, would start bleeding if his mother kissed him. Lightning Lou Ep. Real good little... I need a head guard, said Red. I'll get it, said Henry, limping up with the Vaseline jar. Stay where you're at, Henry, said Bud. Now, what you need a head guard for? Gonna spar. You know the rules, boy. No sparring unless the boss or me is watching. He's not here, and I ain't got time. Don't be an old woman, said Red. If you don't know the rules, maybe you don't belong here. I pay my dues. I belong here more than a lot of people. Rules the same for everybody, said Bud. Just get me a head guard. The room fell quiet. Whoever had started punching the peanut bag stopped, letting it squeak into silence on the swivel. The Puerto Rican boys, Denny, the enormous belly, the others, moved into a circle around Alfred, Henry, Red, and Bud. Ever since you come, said Bud softly, looking into the satchel, you've been a smart meat. Be sweet, boy. Joe Louis been up here, and he had a good word for everybody. Sugar Ray and Cassius Clay been up and treated everyone fine. Skip the lip, said Red. Your job's to get me a head guard when I want it. My job's to help Mr. Donatelli train you how to fight. But you gotta get to be a man on your own. You saying I ain't a man, you old crow? Red's hands came up. Alfred saw they were taped. You want to fight somebody, you fight me, said the enormous belly, pushing Alfred out of his way. I say you ain't no man neither. Mind your business, Jelly Belly, said Bud. Carefully he took the Vaseline jar from Henry's outstretched hand and placed it in the satchel. He snapped the satchel shut and looked up. Now, what's your problem, boy? Red leaned forward, his skin flushing with sudden blood. Bud's gaunt face seemed to get blacker. If you had any teeth, I'd knock 'em out, said Red. Go make believe I got teeth. Red's right hand balled into a fist, and the arm shot out like a jackhammer, straight at Bud's mouth. The old man never blinked, lazily waving his left arm, knocking Red's hand aside. One skinny black hand whipped out and cracked against Red's jaw. Red backed up, tears springing to his eyes. Alfred suddenly felt sorry for him. Red ran to his locker, pulled out his clothes, and bolted out of the gym. Bud looked around. Don't nobody tell the boss about this. Everybody gets a second chance around here. Now go on with what you were doing. Show's over. The others drifted away, and Bud fingered the lock on the satchel. Nobody ever said it was easy. Gotta come up here day after day. Gotta put out. And some days, nobody even looks at you, except to say you're doing something wrong. He locked the satchel. That's part of it. You're hungry enough, you keep at it. He looked right at Alfred. You Alfred Brooks? Yes. Figured. Tonight you're gonna see a real fight. No slapping. Me? Yeah, Henry's got your ticket. Boss said if you ever came back, you might as well see what you came back for.